We are the group T.A.D, and our product is the Jillow. So I'm T.A.D. I plan to go to UNC Charlotte for mechanical engineering.
I'm Authentic Smallwood, and I plan to go to T.A.D, major in construction engineering and management.
I'm David Davenport, and I plan to major in biological engineering at North Carolina A&T in the fall.
So, going into our introductions, we have a big problem here. For our sample data, we have found that 96.5% of people experience massive amount of neck pain due to sleeping without no support in uncomfortable positions. We believe the cause of this is due to being unable to sleep with any support outside of their homes, whether it's in schools or on road trips. Part of our goal is to solve this problem by creating a jacket that allows for comfort and support with the neck. With our, also on the bottom, or sorry, top survey, we found that 64.3% of people in our survey, which was a response of 200 people, found that they disagreed on having any support, found they did not have any support outside of their home. So, going back to our problem statement, in 2024 of the school year, we again found that 96.5% of people did not have any neck support outside of their homes. With this group, we also found that a majority of responses said that they use their jackets as a cushion outside the home. So, using our justification and with our data that we had collected, we had noticed that a large majority of the people that are affected are either people who travel, whether air or on road, students who are in high school or college, especially during those exams and want to have that rest. Then those who go backpacking and have to minimize what they can carry and not being able to have a fully supported pillow. And also those who are unhoused individuals. We believe that a big relevancy to our project is to help reduce the possibility of having spinal arthritis and stenosis. We believe that with our project we can help, or with our product we can help prevent or possibly eliminate risk of having these problems later on in your life. With many people in our patents, we did find that this is something that has been made, but however, in the market, they focus on the conversion of a jacket into a pillow, not using that jacket as a pillow.
So as you can see, our group has researched numerous different patents with some of the solutions to our current problem. And then we graded each of these patents that we found on 7 different specifications, including the cost reduction, aesthetics, practicality, comfortability, quality material, dual purposes, and simplicity. So our first one that we analyzed was a jacket pillow conversion, which provided simplistic design and the ability to travel without the need of a traditional pillow. But it was not a simple use converting the jacket to a pillow, and also did provide the dual purposes we were looking for our solution. The second pattern we found provided great neck support and used quality material to prevent neck deterioration and spinal problems, but only provide neck support and what the dual purposes levels. Then our third solution that we found was a neck pillow and hood that was detachable and was very adaptable for multiple different environments and scenarios that you would be going out through your normal life. However, did not provide support below the neck, and lacks the ability to be compartmentalized. Our fourth solution we had was a very simplistic preventable jacket and neck pillow. It was a very simplistic design, practical for traveling, and almost had everything that we were looking for in the solution. However, it did not provide the dual purposes we were looking for. And our final similar solution we found was a patented inflatable neck pillow. Very classic, very simple. However, it did not have any dual purposes and only accomplished one of our design goals.
So we started working on the final grip solution, which we sketched up there, if you can see. And the key features that we wanted to include were an inflatable hood, an inflatable back, arm pillows, a detachable hood, and a comfortable interior for proper rest, because we felt that that was one of the most important pieces of it, as you'll see soon. So the purpose and the goal for our final solution was to remove the need for a jacket and a pillow when traveling, and just to provide comfortability in any situation that an individual might be in. Over there in the survey data, the question was, do you often use a jacket to rest your head when tired outside of home? And we got about a 50% response rate. That was an overwhelming majority. And on the second was, do you travel with a separate pillow and jacket? And for that, we got a 52% that said, yes, we do travel. So it showed us that we did need to make something that would put those two things together and just simplify it for everybody. So we began the design process. After looking through all of the patents, we chose on our design specifications, which included just performance, customer need, just the basics of what we needed to include in this design in order to keep it efficient for everybody and to let everybody enjoy it. So after Authentic went over the patents, we put them into a decision matrix and graded them based on which features were the best for our final project. And we wanted to see which 3 patents would give us the traits that we were going to put in our final design. And so following our decision matrix, we created our final mock-up sketch, which had inflatable arms, the inflatable hood, a comfortable interior, but also an orthopedic interior that would support your back laying anywhere, and a detachable hood, which was something that we'll talk about later on. But all of these things basically came up to us, and this is how we're going to make our mock-up at least. And then we're going to see how it goes into the prototype. So we began working on the mock-up. We used a waterproof jacket as a base, so we bought one and we just wanted to visualize how our product would look. We added cushioning in the hood, and we made sure that we could use a zipper to detach it, and we changed that later. And that's Authentic at number 3 with the completed base mock-up with the pillow arms, detachable hood, and also stuffing in the hood as well. And so for number 4, we began working on our actual final prototype. And we cut up a popcorn blanket and also purchased a pattern just to get a basic jacket so that we would be able to have the basis for what our final would look like. Okay. So originally the plan was to use muslin as just a test jacket, but we decided to scrap that idea and use the muslin as a base interior to provide extra support for us. And that's me in the muslin version of the jacket. And then we used a nylon material, which was waterproof, and had our team colors on it, for the exterior of the jacket, so that if in any scenario you were getting rained on or if you get splashed with water, you would have that resistance that you need in that scenario. Because of also our moisture worry, we decided to use polyfill, which is a polyester version of cotton, for the interior so that we would avoid the cotton getting too wet or possibly growing mold. We just didn't want it to hold that moisture that we just didn't want. And then on number 8 is our completed jacket and zipper with an attachment via buttons. So we have scrapped the zipper idea from our mock-up, and we changed it to buttons so that it was easier to remove the hood and to put on the hood. The hood also has a filling with polyply as well, and the interior is coated with our popcorn blanket so that you feel like you're in a pillow basically at all times.
So going into our test criteria, we went into doing 4 different tests. Our first test was working on our waterproof. How waterproof can we make our jacket without having to worry about getting super damp? Our second test was worrying about weight. We know that our whole goal is to have that comforting support, so we don't want to have to, we wanted to test to see how much support we get. With number 3, we had to make sure the durability of that hood on different surfaces. As we know, we're wearing a jacket. We're not always going to be on a soft surface when we're laying down or propped up. It's all going to be different ridge surfaces, the ground if we have to. With our number 4, we have to make sure it fits right. And also with that, we want to make sure we have our user feedback from other Nez River students. So with our water resistant test, out of 3 tests done in this, we did our first with a direct splash of water, as seen in the photo. We completely drenched Authentic here in water, and we tried our best to get them wet, but thankfully our product stayed strong and did not let any water seep through any seams. So going into our second test, we, instead of doing a direct splash into the whole entire, we focused on the hood. As we know, our hood is detachable, and we do worry that our seams where our hood does connect could possibly allow water to seep in. So with that test, we directly poured water onto the hood. And with that, it passed with minimal water leaking through. As we believe, our fix for this was to possibly put a cover over our attachable buttons. With our third test, we went into mist, as it's not always going to be a complete downpour. We have that little bit of mist and worry about that mildew and potential effects later on with the hood. We tested this by spraying the hood and seeing how water resistant over time if you did not clean it and dry it off. And then with our second test, we went into weight resistance. So thankfully, Authentic here was nice enough to lay on the table for us and test some weights. For our first test, we tested the actual complete back side of the hood to see that's your main area of support that we want to give. And of course, you're gonna lay on your back, not your front. So with the front, we tested it and we got between 17 to 19 pounds of being able to hold it with minimal discomfort. After that, it became a little bit worse than what we wanted to have our users doing. With this, our main criteria is it had to pass 15 pounds, and with this, it definitely passed that. Our second test was working towards the front. Now, we know that not everybody's going to be laying on the ground with their belly down, but we want to still test this for that extra comfort. Now, with that front, it only did 7 pounds before feeling more increased discomfort, and that sadly passed by 4 pounds with our tolerance of 11 to 15 pounds wanted. We believe that to solve this, we could add more polyfibe to the front to fix this problem. With test number 3, we went into focusing on the hood itself. With this, we found that we can hold up to 11 pounds exactly on that. We believe that hopefully nobody's putting anything on top of their head over this weight limit, so we believe it passed the test between our 11 to 15 pound criteria. So going to our third test, which is our surface comfortability, we had Authentic tested on different surfaces, whether it be grass or gravel, asphalt, or a comfortable desk. So with that, we had again 3 tests: concrete, then grass, and then having it in the desk, on our desk, or as a classroom. So I think you want to talk about that? Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, so during all 3 tests, I realized that the Jillow provided optimal back comfort as well as neck comfort. However, I will say that the sleeving and the pattern in the head could be improved due to the fact that it was very discomfortable on asphalt, grass, and especially the desk. And then we're gonna go to user feedback. One of our testers, which was above average height, found that the Jillow was comfortable and passed each test. Tester 2 was taller liked it, but another could draft it, but it was still pass. Tested 3 was shorter, like the fit and missed cuffs. And we recommended that we should add a sleeve polyfill, a draft flap, and stuffed cuffs.
And as pictured there, Gino will be modeling it outside. So, so we had a slew of results that we were able to meet. So our design goals, for example, it was comfortable and it did have a decent amount of durability because of the extra muslin layer, like I stated, and partial weight support. It did pass 2 of the weight tests, but 1 of the weight tests did fail. Our benefits, it's versatile. You can sleep in it anywhere, you can travel somewhere with it, you can really go anywhere with the Jillow. It is comfortable on various surfaces. There's authentic sleeping outside. We left him there and he fell asleep in the Jillow. And it's weather resistant. We really needed something that could brave elements but also be comfortable for you to rest in. Some of our feedback that we got from the wearers of the jacket was to add more polyfill in the hood and the sleeves. The sleeves currently are like bare, and so just to be able to like lay on those or have that comfort if you're on a rocky surface or something. And then also use waterproof adhesive on the outer layers just to increase the already good water resistance. We wanted to just cover a little bit more just so we can have that water completely sliding off and nothing getting on the surface. For our taller user, like Authentic stated, there was a small gap in the back with the buttons, and we decided that adding like a neck flap or something just to keep wind and things from just hitting the neck, like the bare neck, would be efficient. And just improving the hood cushioning, because I didn't add as much polyfi to it because I didn't know for sure how much would make the jacket look crazy. So I decided on adding like a moderate amount, but a lot of people did say that a lot more would be necessary.
Okay, so going to our review and reflections, going further into some things that we could fix was our seams. Talking about the waterproof adhesive, we duly noted that we should definitely add this into our seams where we sewed, because this is a definite weak point in our design. We believe that if we can fix this, it'll help boost the person's morale in using the product. So with our second reflection, as Authentic said, it is comfortable. Now we do have some things that we need to fix with adding the polyfi, but we do believe that it did pass our standards for what we had originally set. Now for offering different practical uses, our main goal was to make sure we had dual purpose. So with that jacket, being able to use it as a jacket and a pillow, it was our main focus in helping give neck support and any type of everyday use. So again, stating the Jillow is very versatile in our uses and what we found in our testing, and we believe that it will solve or help prevent any discomfort in everyday use.
We also found that it's very suitable for travelers, students, and outgoing students.
And we decided that it was comfortable, durable, and just designed with real needs in mind because of the feedback that we got. I'd like to thank Ms. Davenport and the audience for material support and recommendations regarding that.
We would also like to thank Ms. Melton for guidance in sewing and allowing us to use the sewing machine.
And we would also like to thank Ms. Roundtree for her mentorship over the past 4 years in helping us in improving our design and presenting this presentation. Thank you.